Okay, here with my favorite and yours, Linda Marks. I'm so happy to have this time with you and review. This is a Star is Born segment, and really, there's no bigger star than Linda Marks. If you're in the group and you have been for a while, you know Linda is our most vocal member, and thank goodness she's also getting better too. So,
Yes,
Linda, welcome. Thanks for doing this.
you're
Um,
welcome.
it's
It's my
important that,
pleasure.
oh, that's great. I think it's important. I could tell people that you could reverse diabetes until I'm blue in the face, but the empirical evidence of the before and after lab work, that too is great. But actually hearing from person to person, their experience, I think, is so powerful. So thanks so much for helping others. I
Well,
appreciate it. So go ahead, tell me, where were you with your type 2 diabetes before we met?
well, I was pre-diabetic for about 15 years, and um, back in July, I had terrible pain in my leg, and I didn't know what it was at the time. And to make it short and sweet, I'll just say it was not sciatica in the end, it was neuropathy in my leg, which I didn't know. And so I had to find a primary care physician because I never went to doctors. And so I found a primary care physician and they did blood work. And I told them I was pre diabetic for 15 years. And they did blood work. And then the nurse called me back a few days later and said, "Well, I'm sorry, Linda, but you're no longer pre diabetic. You're diabetic. Your sugar is 200 and your A1C is 9.7. And the doctor wants to put you on metformin." And I said, "Well, that'll never happen. I'll die before I take any
So,
meds."
you know what? The reason why you hadn't been to doctors in a long time, and the reason why you refused the metformin, people don't know that you grew up with a mother who we were just speaking about and have been speaking about since the beginning, because she is an inspiration to you and me both. But she was what they would call back then a health nut. She took supplements. She was like a witch doctor. People did not understand she was years ahead of herself. So she had ingrained in you that medication was bad, so there was no way you were going on metformin. How much did you weigh at this point?
I was 228,
Okay. And how much do you weigh now?
179.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. What is that, 46 pounds?
Yeah, 47, I think.
47 pounds, my goodness. And you lost that since last August?
No, since October.
Oh my goodness. So since October, and you did that how?
Well, before I met you, I cut out all the sugar and all the carbs and
Got it.
all the crap I was eating.
And then everything you implemented, everything that I'm going to speak about tonight, right?
Right,
The five
right.
most inflammatory foods, because I remember you saying that, and just implementing that, you lost, I think, another or 20. Well, actually, it started out as 24 pounds. Now it's 47. My
Right,
goodness,
right, right.
amazing. How was your mindset when we had first met?
Well, when I saw the feed on Facebook, I was hemming and hawing about getting on it. And then I said, what are you going to lose, Linda? Just sign up and listen to it. And so I did. And my mindset was I wanted to get better. I didn't want to take meds. And I knew that I had to bring the sugar down or I had no other choice. I would have never gone on medication. I will be honest and say, I told the doctor, I said, I'll never take meds for diabetes because I was always told by my mom that the meds can kill your pancreas. And so I said to him, I would consider maybe taking some insulin at night before bed to lower my sugar. I said, but I'll never take meds. But my mindset was I didn't want to take any of that. I wanted to change it the natural way.
Got it. Got it. So, well, let's go ahead and show where you were on lab work, and let's show where you are now, if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
All right, so here we go. So, this lab work was first taken, reported on 11/3, received. So it was October 26th of last year when we took your lab work. And
Yeah.
at that time, your blood glucose was 116. Your EGFR, which is a kidney marker, told us that you are in stage 2 kidney disease. We also, coming down further, we saw that your cholesterol was out of whack, man. So your total cholesterol should be below 200. You were at 215. Triglycerides, you want below 100. You were at 118. And LDLs, you want below 100 as well. And they were at 154. HLA markers, we ran these markers, these DNA genetic coded markers, and it told us that you had mold and multi-susceptibility. So susceptibility to mold and multiple toxins. So we ran a tox test to find out what was in your body toxin-wise. I'll reveal that in a second. And remember, when you began, we had neuropathy. We have hypothyroidism, which I'm about to show you, heart disease, and insulin resistance. And that's what we were up against and starting with. Again, there I wrote mold and multi-susceptibility is what came back as a result of those DNA genetic markers. Your TSH, which should be between 1.8 and 2.2, was at 6.11. This is evidence of your hypothyroidism right there. Your A1C at the time that we began with you was at 6.3, down from 9.6. So holy moly, I think you had done a good amount of work prior to meeting with us. And maybe right from the masterclass, you started to implement and it shows.
Yeah.
Your vitamin D was at 24.9. You want that to be between 60 and 80. CRP, which continues to be an issue, that cardiac marker at 8.6, you've made tremendous strides of improvement. We need work there, but I'll show you in a moment.
Yeah.
And what else? And then we had insulin. So insulin should be at 4.5 to 5. Again, this is evidence of your mitochondrial cat creating walls of insulin resistance. And then the key, insulin backs up into the bloodstream and elevated it from 4.5 to 11.8. So we have almost 3 times the amount of insulin in our body, enough for you, Bill,
And
your
3
husband,
others,
and
you
one of your
said.
children, and one of your sons. Yeah. So, okay, so let's fast forward now to 2/24 of 24. So what we're looking at here is 15 weeks. So
Right.
just under 4 months. So your glucose went from 116 to 108. We still want that a little lower. We don't want that above 97. Your EGFR went from 81 to 87. So you improved in kidney function by 6 ticks, and you are 3 ticks away from eliminating kidney dysfunction. So that is a major improvement right there. Congratulations. Your
Thank you.
cholesterol, oh my goodness, cholesterol went from 215 to 195. Your triglycerides went from 118, again, you want them below 100, to 95, and working on your LDLs still, but they came down significantly as well. They went from 154 down to 133. We want these below 100, but man, oh man, we are making improvement. A1C, Linda Marks, that is normal. Your A1C is normal. So just looking at that marker alone, which most doctors do, they will tell you that you're not even pre-diabetic anymore, which you had been for 25 years before last year,
Right.
becoming a diabetic now, it's 5.6, which is normal. So 9.6 in August and 5.6 in the following February. You are a rock star, a
Thank
rock star.
you.
Yes. Vitamin D is still not where we need it to be, but it's gone up from 24 to 41, almost doubled. Now we need to double it again. I want that closer to 80 for a type 2 diabetic. So we're on the uptick. So that's very good. CRP, again, we want this number below 1. But you fell. You fell from 8.6 to 6.89. That's significant. And again, we're only talking 15 weeks. So it took you, 26 years to get the diagnosis to create type 2 diabetes, 25 years of pre-diabetes, a year of full-blown diabetes, and in just 6 months. About 9 months. We have made so much improvement to the point where your A1C is now normal. It's going to take a little longer for us to get you back, but certainly on your way. And then lastly, your insulin, which was at 11.8, is now down to 6.3, which means that the mitochondrial cat is turning up the volume
Oh,
of
thank
energy
God.
production. Yes. So we have Linda Marks coming back. So here was your tox test. Now, we ran the lab work that told us that you had a genetic predisposition to toxins. So now we need to find out what toxins you have in your body. And it tells us that we found 10 mycotoxins, one of which many of which contribute to mold. And again, you have mold and multi-susceptibility. That drives leaky gut mycotoxins, and then creates kidney and liver problems. You have, if you look at this, your BPA is plastics, and that was off the chart. That is, of course, an industrial toxin. But man, off the charts at 20, it shouldn't be above 5.09. Yours might even be higher than 20.
Right, it only goes that high, right?
Yeah, and that's a diabetogen, an obesogen, and a carcinogen, meaning it causes diabetes, obesity, and cancer. So we got to get that sucker, and type 2 diabetes, obviously. Real quick, we also found aluminum. Aluminum contributes to type 3 diabetes. We found arsenic, beryllium, cadmium, DMP, DMTP, and glyphosate, both diabetogens, obesogens, and carcinogens. So a ton of toxins. So we found a lot of whys. Let me ask you this: how's your neuropathy doing? By the way, did I show that? I'm not sure I showed your thyroid number. I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So hypothyroidism gone. Type 2 diabetes gone. We're cholesterol normal.
I don't understand what's the difference between the A1C and the 10 and the morning sugar 108, because you said that has to go lower. I don't understand the
So
difference.
good question. So your A1C is a 90-day average of your blood glucose readings.
Right.
So blood glucose is what your reading of your blood sugar is at the time you take the test. It's typically higher in the morning, called the dawn effect, but we don't want that to be 85 to 97 fasting blood glucose.
And is that a cortisol issue?
It is a cortisol issue. That is exactly
Okay.
right. So
Okay.
what happens is during the middle of the night, your blood sugar falls to a dangerous level. So your body has a surge of cortisol to wake you up. Now, cortisol is responsible for energy. So that's why you have a spike typically, or many people do, in the morning of blood glucose. So, but we're on our way, man. We have a normal A1C, which means at 10, you're at 106 in the morning. It's actually coming down lower than that because the A1C is an average. And
Okay.
your average is normal, 5.6. So,
Thank
again,
God. And
yes,
thank
yes.
Dr. Raj.
No, you did all the hard work. You did all the hard work. So, you know, I wasn't sure I was going to accept you for reasons that I won't speak about. I was not sure that Linda had what it took. Could you even imagine that? If you were a member listening to this recording, I'm sure you're like, no way. But it's difficult. Uh, I'm very picky as to who I choose. I want to make sure that when I choose a patient, we get them to the finish line. But Linda, you would not stop. I did not accept you. I gave you an alternative. You kept
Yeah.
working hard and would not stop until I did accept you on the program. My goodness, that tenaciousness, that mindset. Um, so, two last questions I will ask you. One,
Okay.
uh, if you can pinpoint one thing that makes this program worthwhile, what would you say that that is?
Why would you want to live your life unhealthy and not being able to do anything when you can feel wonderful and do everything?
Awesome. Yes. And this program enabled you to do that?
Yeah, I couldn't do very much before I started the program. And
How's your neuropathy?
oh, that went away. The minute I stopped eating the sugar and carbs, that went away.
Neuropathy gone too.
Right,
Uh,
that went away. I do, you know what? I do want to talk to you maybe after about some tingling in my hand, but I don't know what that is.
we discussed that in the past. I'm happy to talk to you about that when we hang up.
Okay.
I think that's coming from elsewhere.
Okay.
So, last thing. So,
Yeah.
here's your chance, Linda Marks. What do you want to tell? Inquiring minds want to know. So, what do you want to tell people who might be hesitant about moving forward to do testing?
I would definitely do the testing without a doubt. Um, Whether you want to join the program after that is your choice, but I would definitely do the testing because then you'll know. You'll find out why you are feeling and where you are. But
Yeah.
I have to say that the program is worth joining.
So, the testing gave you all the answers as to why you were having high blood sugar and all these other health issues.
Right. And whether my primary would have helped me with all of that, I can't say he, well now she, because I'm seeing the physician's assistant who I love so much. When I brought your testing to him after I had all those blood tests, not a comp one, but other ones,
Mhm.
um, I told her, I said, I need to be on thyroid, which he didn't even say anything about my thyroid. And she said, she looked at your testing and she said, wow, you do need to be on thyroid. I'm going to phone that in for you right now. And, but what did I say to her? I
No
said,
way.
but I'll only take a natural thyroid.
I wouldn't
I won't.
expect anything less from Linda Parks, for sure, of course. So, okay, well, I want to thank you for doing this. I want to thank you for helping me help other people and sharing your story. I want to congratulate you on your success. I want to thank you for being a member of the group and so active. You really, and I truly mean this, you bring smiles to not only my face, but the members in the group on a daily basis. And we're all very grateful for you. And we're all very excited for you because you are winning this journey. And my goodness, if I could reverse type 2 diabetes for anybody, I'm so glad I was able to do it for Linda Marks.
Thank you. I want to say one thing before we go, and I want it recorded
Okay.
because this will make me have to stick with it. So I want to tell all the members out there or the people that are watching that I'm a smoker. And I promised Amy, and well, I promised myself, and I promised Amy and you
Yeah.
that I was going to quit smoking. So I'm in Connecticut, and my day to quit is the day I leave Connecticut and go back to Florida. And I know the next time I have my blood work, it'll be better because I will no longer be a smoker.
I know it is. I know you will. And that is the reason why I almost didn't accept you for care,
I
because
know.
you weren't willing at that point to give it up, which means, and was telling me, you weren't willing to make your health your number one priority. But you know what? You proved me wrong, Linda. You did indeed, and I know you will. And we got all of our support. And like I said yesterday during the session, the best thing to do is, if you want to achieve a goal, is to tell everybody that that's what you're going to do, so that you have to do it. You can't make a liar out of yourself. So
Right.
now,
So I had to admit it in front of everybody.
well, I'm proud of you, and I know you're going to do it, and I can't wait to see and witness the rest of your journey.
Okay. Thank you so much. You know, I love you.
I know, and you know I love you. So thanks for doing
Okay.
this. And one last reminder to all of those that are watching: you can click on the link, sign up for testing, find out your why. You don't know what you don't know until you look. So the investigation is what leads us to find the reasons, your why, and what helped us help Linda. So awesome. Have a great day. I'll talk to you in a bit. Hang on there, Linda. I just want to say, I want to answer
Okay.
your questions about the
Okay.
other. All right, everybody. Have a great day.